Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Cyrus and this is Tuntum Network, and I hope you've subscribed to this channel for more of my contents. Our president in Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, appears to be warming up to what the voters actually voted him for. And ladies and gentlemen, I want us to get into it. So come with me. There was, first of all, a promise made of an operation recover all loot made to the voters in the last year's election, which seems to be underway. This had to do with investigating all the stealings of state funds, inserting ghost names in state registries, and causing financial losses to the state. Ladies and gentlemen, it is also including recovering all state lands sold to party faithfuls under the old administration, including state cars and appointments. That was the promise by the president, and now here we are. He was sworn in on the 7th of January this year, which makes him 1 month and 17 days old in office. Already he has sworn in his ministers and moved into action, which is something we wanted. Earlier this week, however, the former finance minister of Ghana, Ken Ofori-Atta, was pronounced a fugitive and wanted by the office of the special prosecutor of Ghana, which we are now told his lawyers have responded to the invitation and is apparently in the country. He is in Ghana to aid in the investigation. Ofori-Atta has been accused of an alleged financial misconduct during his time in office. Ladies and gentlemen, this involves causing financial losses to the state from the renegotiation of the contract between the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, and Beijing of China, the Beijing Jiao, to the controversial National Cathedral, which remains a hole in the ground despite the alleged spending of $58 million of government money. This is a step in the right direction. And now, the former board chairman of Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, Professor Christopher Ameyaw Ekumfi, was detained by the National Investigation Bureau on Sunday, the 23rd of January 2024, over his alleged involvement in the failed $3 billion SkyTrain project in Ghana. It is also alleged that he was arrested for authorizing the payment of $2 million to Africa Investor Holding, the company that was supposed to execute this particular project. This would have been a game-changing project which never took off, yet millions of dollars found its way to exchange hands. I remember when the pictures first came out of the SkyTrain, many were excited and a lot more people were super critical because many Ghanaians insisted that Ghana didn't even have an intercity ground train, and here we were talking about SkyTrain. And just like that, the frenzy died down and nothing happened till today. Now, again, the former deputy director of operations at the National Service Authority, Mr. Kweku Ohene-Jan, has also been arrested on Saturday, 22nd of February by the National Investigation Bureau, the NIB, on investigations of some 81,885 suspected ghost names in the NSA payroll. I mean, this would have been the apex of crime consciousness if he's found a culprit, in the sense that when an appointed person, instead of working to bring value to the state, indulges in setting up the department payment system to bleed out monies meant for so many crucial things into private accounts, that is super terrible, ladies and gentlemen. And the most disturbing thing is this: some of the names repeat themselves so many times, it becomes just silly, ladies and gentlemen. It's totally silly, doesn't make sense. At this point, he's only alleged to be behind the register, and we want to see what comes out of it next. But we are also told he's not alone. One Madam Gifty Owari Mensah, who was a former deputy director of the same National Service Authority, is also wanted by the National Investigation Bureau on same charges. The same lady, however, plays another executive role on the Ghana Black Queens, the female football team board. So she's somewhere in Morocco at this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, again I repeat, this is a step in the right direction. In America, President Trump has introduced a new department called the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, to oversee all government spendings, and is bringing out so much rot in their system. It appears this is the era of accountability. President John Dramani Mahama cannot afford to not prosecute and convict anyone of crime, because that, ladies and gentlemen, would have been a huge disappointment in the faces of those who believed in him and complained about the system and voted for him for that purpose. We need to see real prosecutions this time, possibly aired on TV live. We need to see what these so-called appointees actually do with state funds behind closed doors. And then we need to see those found guilty thrown in jail and their properties, including their bank accounts, confiscated. This is only in the first 2 months of his presidency, and we know there is definitely going to be a lot more egregious cases come out of the closet soon. Take, for instance, all that document presented to the president by the Operation Recover All Loot team, the oral. Every one of them must be investigated. Every one of them must be investigated to the dot. We have to understand that bad leadership and corruption are the two main causes of 99% of all of Africa's problems. The fact that revenues are insufficient and yet the little left is misapplied is a crime against the country and the people. Of what benefit will the National Cathedral be to the state, which saw many judges' bungalows demolished? Of what benefit would that have been? The place is now left unattended to, with no plans of what to do with it. If you decide to continue with that plan, that will be another waste of state resources. If you leave it to rot, that is another wasted state resources, unless maybe we redesign it for something that can generate revenue to this country. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, I think the former president must be brought in for questioning. He made that promise. Remember, he ordered the finance minister to allocate funds for it. He ordered for the demolition of the state houses, and therefore, ladies and gentlemen, he must be the first to question. That is how it's supposed to be. He cannot be walking freely and encouraging other former appointees to avail themselves for questioning. That is ironic. Whichever law that prohibits a former president from being tried at any time after being ousted from office must be repealed. It encourages negligence, it's backward looking, and compromises on accountability. A president's crime must be borne by the president. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana must make corruption unattractive. From this time onwards, ladies and gentlemen, we have to be ruthless in dealing with corruption. People must lose everything they own, including their freedoms and ability to leave the country. There must be a faceless law that has no room for public officials who causes the state damages. It must be a terrifying thing to work for the state, because over the years it has become obvious, it is evident that the more friendly the state is run, the more porous the system becomes, and it gets weak and attracts unaccountable people. Do you think China would be where it is today if it had run like Ghana? Impossible. Same applies to Singapore and Korea. We need to take off the kid gloves and put on some adult ones, or else we should just forget it and leave it to rot. Ladies and gentlemen, one Toyota Land Cruiser is sold at the dealership for more than 2 million Ghana cedis, equivalent to $130,000 today. How does a person whose salary is only $3,000 a month afford to buy that and build a couple of mansions and buy other cars in a space of 4 years? In which mathematical equation can that be resolved? Ladies and gentlemen, the system is so corrupt that a chunk of the revenue to the state only ends up in politicians' pocket, making it impossible to plan for this state. It's therefore of no use to institute laws that won't be aggressively enforced. We can choose to play the role of scratching each other's back while the country suffers, ladies and gentlemen. Or we can choose at this point to hold people accountable for their crimes to the benefit of this country and to the people. The choice is in the hands of our president, His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video, and be sure to click on the subscription button for more. I'll see you in the next one. It's bye-bye for now.